What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another Madden 21 rebuild, and today we're doing a draft results rebuild of the Chicago Bears. I know it's probably a little early, but I wanted to get this out early as, at least in Madden's terms, I don't really think the Bears can draft anything that would make their rebuild team much better as opposed to just doing the rebuild now with Justin Fields. Of course, they do still have draft capital, and they could still add quite a bit of talent, but best case scenario, I would see them taking maybe a tackle in the second round, which most of the tackles here are probably going to be like normal dev anyways, and I could just draft that regardless, and we can compare to what they draft, or maybe we even land an exact player that they take. We'll see. But the main focus is Justin Fields. At the end of the day, when you look back, there's nothing that the Bears can do outside of first day that will, override the Fields talk. It's just going to be all about Fields anyways, so that's kind of the point of this. We did make the trade already. We're ready to draft. We have pretty much every player. I think maybe some of the backups we lost. I could not afford Tayshaun Gibson, who I think we're going to be looking to replace here anyways. I think in real life, it's not the worst player to have in the world. I think Tayshaun's always been a pretty average, fillable starter, whereas now we don't have him. But pretty much everyone else we kept. Trufant, we got him on a one-year deal. We got Dalton, even though we're broke. I would assume we're going to start Dalton, but I think what's going to happen, just like in real life with Chicago, same as Nick Foles and Trubisky, is after a couple of games, if things go badly, which I don't know if they will, Andy Dalton might actually play all right, we may see the rookie come in. So that's what we're going to play it by. We're going to play it by how well they play in sim and go from there. Of course, in the draft, we have pick 11. They're not going to have the most correct choices here. I'm going to make sure that we at least hopefully get... Oh, crap, I forgot about the damn Niners. Hopefully get most of these picks at least close enough. So I'm going to be moving some players around. So far, based on all of this, none of the players have been correct at all. Pitts goes all the way to 11 here. What a disaster. But obviously, the only thing we care about is Justin Fields. After the draft is over, we will end up doing some sort of sim video anyways, so don't worry about that. Justin Fields is the pick, obviously, and the Bears have had one hell of a draft just simply on day one. And, a lot of people are like, oh, the Giants got so much for that, which I would say they got more value than it was probably worth, especially if you look at previous years, because they knew the Bears were calling about a quarterback. But at the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse. It really just comes down to how the Bears handle this season. If they can make the playoffs again, there's no issue at all. However, if they get a top 10 pick, a little bit of worries there, but regardless, I think it's fun. And then the Niners with the gift of a century, freaking Zach Wilson, of course. Let's go to the next round, because even though I would assume the Bears probably will not be trading up, and we could actually see that tomorrow, I don't expect it. I'd expect it to be safety, but you never know. The Bears could still trade up Travis Etienne. I put him in the first round. He didn't go there. I'm going to obviously make sure that I draft only players that are actually available. So corner is still one of the issues of Chicago. I think the offensive line's a little bit more important, especially after you just drafted your franchise. Savin Collins supposed to go in the first round. Your franchise quarterback, quote-unquote. So we're going to keep moving, though. Try to get to 20. Rondale Moore to the Patriots. That might have been a thought for us. Paulson Adebo. Holland may have been a choice for us if he was stills there. Of course, Terrence Marshall goes there at 19. I'm really hoping the Packers trade up for a wide receiver just to hopefully close these rumors out a little bit. And, oof. Asante Samuel is a tough man to pass on. Linebackers, obviously, on the list as well. Cisco, I think... The thing is, I don't know what linebacker or tackle they're going to land. I think Mayfield has star on this class, though. And I think tackle is easily the biggest need remaining. So I'm going to go Jalen Mayfield here. And he is hidden development traits, 70 overall. That's a win. That's a win. Simply put, that's a win. Let's go to the next round. And once again, trading up is not, completely off the table. Asante Samuel's still there. I'd expect Asante to go about round 15. Honestly, I'd say around 15, pick 15. By pick 15. I imagine the Eagles... I don't think he gets past the Eagles, right? Just for the legacy, for their needs. I don't see him getting past them. We do have Tyson Campbell, who I would assume is projected to go in the second, but you never know. There's a lot of really good players that slipped out of the first with a couple of reaches in the first. Speaking of, I think Landon Dickerson is probably a good enough player for us to want to go for. I don't want to force a dev, but like he definitely deserves hidden. I think we're going to move down until... the Jaguars are making a very good play here so far. Do we still have 2 players? So we have... I think corner, like I said, is... I mean, we're going to lose Trufant after this season. Corner is a big enough need to where we're going to take one of the guys that are there. The thing is, I don't expect guys like Asante to be there, so I'm hoping whoever goes first, because we're obviously going to wait, I hope it's Asante. Hope Asante is gone first. You know what? I don't expect these guys to actually be... I'm going to go to the Cowboys at 11, so we're getting back to 11, which is very strange here, because, like, how do you go from... I don't know. Not sure how that swapping works, but I guess it does. No 4th, 5th, or... Well, they have a 6 and 7. Interesting. This is a bit of a trade-up for us. A 5th next year, I think that's pretty fair value. What, 9 spots in the 3rd? A 5th from a team that isn't guaranteed to be God tier. It's not terrible value. Tyson Campbell, like I said, I think is a late seconder, but you never know how the draft is going to go, so I'm just going to make the argument that he's still here. Tyson Campbell, who should be hidden, he thankfully is. More of a project player for us, but will be a future starter for us, obviously. We did not land a safety, though, which is really, really disheartening. We can't really do much to trade up, though. Like, we don't have much trade capital, and we definitely don't have much draft capital. As we see, Tylan Walls is still there. Tamorian Terry in the 6th round would actually be kind of a steal. I really don't think the Bears can get away with trading up too much. I think even the trade up for Tyson there was a bit too much for us. Was it Tyson or was it Trill? I think it was Tyson. We're going to just hope that Terry's still there at pick 20. I think the Giants, the Bears are okay with their receiving talent, but I don't think you can really value too many wide receivers, right? Or just some if you're Green Bay. Speaking of, the last couple of drafts have been really sad as a Packers fan. The NFC North they don't put it to work often, but they sure as hell seem to dominate the drafts, and it makes me real sad. I think we're just going to take a random safety at this point, if there is anyone. We're going to take Robert Rochelle, who may actually play a safety spot, maybe back up, learn the position. I'm not sure. Looks like a true corner, though. And yeah, I'm a little sad that we didn't come out with a safety. Just like I'm a little sad that you're watching this video to this point and you haven't liked. You've seen the channel. You haven't even subscribed. I don't know what I've done to you to just not get the love. Obviously, do whatever you want. I mean, it means a ton. Like, I'm not going to lie that subscribing and liking doesn't help me. But, I ain't going to push you, right? Justin Fields, superstar development trait, absolute W. Mayfield, I'm just going to tell you right now, Mayfield and Campbell are going to be star. So that's really all I can tell you. I know it's not going to be accurate at all, but just for the hell of it, let's take a look at who was taken in the 2nd round. Koromoa, Joke at number 1. Creed Humphrey to the Dolphins. Could see it. Obi Melifonwu, Ifitu Melifonwu, could see it. I'd say Asante, though, like I said. I think it just fits, right? It just does. The Bengals landing a tight end in the 2nd round makes sense, but I think they gotta go tackle because they should have in the 1st round, but I guess it was too tempting to reunite Jamar and Burrow. Lineman for the Panthers always makes sense. However, the fact that we didn't see a quarterback selection from them is a little troubling. Would have also avoided the Bears getting them, which I know a lot of you guys probably are Bears fans, but as a Packers fan, I gotta be honest. Seeing you guys do good things makes me sad, okay? And I know you guys are happy to see these Rodgers rumors, okay? I'm just sad. Rondale Moore to the Patriots would be an absolute W.5, and it very well could actually happen. Adebo, Chargers, yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't think that's the biggest need, but at this point, they're kind of addressing most of their needs anyways. The Raiders could use a safety, tight end to the Dolphins. I guess Gesicki's okay. I wouldn't go tight end if I'm them. Washington definitely does not need a wide receiver as their number 1. DT for the Titans wouldn't hurt, but I'd suppose you would DT, D-line's probably maybe an edge instead. But didn't they pay a ton for Bud Dupree? I can't remember. The Steelers getting Tevin would be an absolute joke. No shot. But yeah, some of these make sense, some don't. Really thought Joke wasn't making it past the Saints or the Packers, but Apparently not. I guess they made it. Or he made it, which isn't good for him, but he's going to go to a team that's going to love him. All right, that's just the bottom line. And I wish there was an option to get rid of some of these quarterbacks, but there just isn't. Now, I know that Hicks is a pretty decent player, but he is on the older side, and I just don't know how this team can be afforded without moving some picks around and moving some players around. I know once Foles is gone and Andy Dalton's gone, it's going to clear some things up a little bit, but I mean, as of right now, we are dead broke. This will free up about, $8 million? I don't know if they restructured him in real life or not. That'll be my bad if they did, but I'm almost certain they were looking to trade or release him / trade him for ages. And we get our trade. It's not a great one, but I look back at the Damon Harrison trade of quote-unquote recent years, and I feel like that's about pretty fair value comparing the two. Right, the true year one roster, pretty similar to what you would expect in real life. Fetty, I would imagine, would move back to guard, right? I don't know if they had him at tackle, but I don't know if that's something they actually played him at. Defensively, definitely not as stout as before, especially with losing Kyle Fuller. I'm not really sure how this team's actually going to look in real life. Mack, you would assume, would get back to that true all-pro form. Roquan is a guy that was being tinkered with of are they going to re-sign him or not. Hopefully we can afford him because I will obviously make the re-signing. Campbell at number 3 should be bumped up to number 2 after the season is over. We need a new safety. We need a new middle linebacker. Pass rusher would be nice, but Robert Quinn is making insane amounts of money right now, so I mean, I'm not really sure what to do there, but obviously, we'll find a way. Andy Dalton playing pretty averagely with a 1-4 start has given me the green light to start the main man, Justin Fields. We got a breakout for a 26-year-old safety. Love it. We beat a couple of decent teams with Justin Fields in at starter. The real question is, can we even afford any of these players? We have apparently a ton of money to work with. I'm not really sure where that came from. The salary cap, as many know, is the most mysterious thing on the planet, other than the mind of a female that you're trying to impress. But Allen Robinson, he has a new quarterback. He's got to be happy. We're willing to pay him. Stay, thank you. I think that's pretty fair. I think you probably get a little bit more than... Well, I wouldn't say a little bit more than that because Kenny Golladay, you can't really compare the two. Even though I think Allen Robinson's better, the situations are different. As far as Roquan, apparently he's superstar from the, choosing the active roster situation. James Daniels, guy you do see drop a lot, but I imagine you're going to see a couple of, replacements on the offensive line. So let's not have to replace James Daniels' position, who can move back inside to center if he has to. He's already inside anyways, but, back to center, I suppose. Bilal Nichols, who is a very interesting player. We kind of bet on him to be good. So I don't know if I'm going to give him a 4-year. I'm going to give him a 3-year 29. Trufant, we're going to let go. Charles Leno, I normally don't let star linemen go, but I think that's pretty pricey for a guy that's been about average. Anthony Miller, he's been too inconsistent. Jimmy Graham, should have never signed him in the first place. Artie Burns, not a bad backup for 2 for 5 is a little pricey for my liking. Overall, though, I like the re-signings we have taken, and I'm not sure why this guy is the number 1 on the list. And you really can't make these things up. You really can't make these things up. As we started 1-4, I changed nothing about the scheme. And honestly, I don't know how Justin Fields actually played, but the moment we put Fields in, we won. How many games is that in a row? 7 games in a row. We did lose a few, but then we won the last 2. I kid you not. And I'm a little surprised because the Bears scheme, they kind of, I was about to say, he didn't really do that well in general because obviously, those numbers aren't great. Obviously, you didn't get to play the full season. You add these 2 numbers together and you're sitting with a little more pretty than that. And you can make the argument, 10-5 isn't crazy bad, but 60% completion percentage for a guy that literally makes his money being, kind of like a safety valve kind of throwing quarterback. He's not going to really be able to throw the ball downfield too much anymore. So that's really bad completion percentage. David Montgomery, not a bad season at all. We put Cohen back in at the 3rd running back spot. Really didn't get much action. So if he needs a re-signing, we might be passing on that. Mooney, not bad. Could go to superstar. I wouldn't mention it, though. I wouldn't put money on it. Tariq Cohen, though, good in the receiving game, I suppose. As far as receiving goes, though, no one really, Mooney was good, but Robinson really wasn't worth the money. Even though the scheme usually gets the Bears wins, we may be looking to change it up a little bit, just a little bit. Khalil Mack with a really good season. Robert Quinn, I think he probably deserves to go up to like a 79 overall after a season like that. 9.5 sacks usually gets you in the the low 80s at minimum in Madden. And for a guy that's being paid so much to be on this team, I feel like it's only fair. It's a little different than normal because usually we would only do this for well, I think we've done this for the Bears rebuild in the past, but we would normally only do this for a quarterback. But obviously, with the money they're giving him, this is, it's kind of almost as important. 78 overall, I think, is fair. Pretty decent looking player. As far as picks go, nothing special. Cairo Santos was... Is that what I was supposed to sign? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Cairo Santos. Kick return, Cohen. Punt return, Cohen. No returns, though. Looking at the awards, wouldn't expect anything from us. Don't even think we'll get Rookie of the Year, as we don't... Well, we definitely won't, but Justin Fields can make the argument that would have been Trey Lance instead, so I'm not going to be mad about it. Dylan Moses, I wouldn't mind it for the Packers, but at this point, you got to make Rodgers happy. You got to get yourself a damn freaking wide receiver. Doesn't matter if it's a smart decision or not. You got to do it. We didn't win any awards, but we won in the end because we ended up getting to the playoffs, making the Giants' first-round pick they got off of us not as bad. That's the biggest thing Bears fans are probably going to be thinking about going forward is what could this cost us? Because the Houston Texans trade, I'm not saying it looks terrible for them, but man, Miami getting that pick at 3 was massive. I mean, that's one of those, like, you look down in the line, depending on how the Dolphins, pan out in the next 5-10 years, could be one of those, like, when you go back and look at top 10 trades, crazy trades, like, the Julio trade up for Atlanta, speaking of, or, something like this where, they traded and got insane value back for the Texans. You could definitely see that could be one of those, like, top 10 situations because they really have turned that into some sort of snowball god effect. It's been absolutely insane, and they're still landing really, really good talent. So, yeah, I mean, it's just insane. It's insane. Almost as insane as the interdivisional trade between the Cowboys and the Giants, which definitely I will be using so much as an argument for us trading interdivision for rebuilds. Don't even worry about it. As if there's anything I could take out of that was a positive for day one, that was it. I mean, interdivisional trade in the top 10, 15, you can't get any better from me making arguments about being unrealistic, right? Fields did not play well, I'll be honest. I will be honest. Looking at the other guys, receiving Etienne, even though he's not supposed to be here, crushed it. It was a bit of a tough one because, like, if I chose a real-life roster with the guys on it, 1, the players have been too good, and 2, it would have made a really big mess of the draft, so I decided to go this way, which for us specifically I think is fun. But let's head to the Super Bowl, see who wins it with the Packers and the Chiefs. I don't know if Jordan Love's going to get the Packers to the Super Bowl. Haha, Rodgers being gone, sad but true joke potentially. As the Packers do beat the Chiefs, should have been last season, they choked it. Let's take a look at any potential dev-ups. Mooney maybe with the yards, he does not. Defensively, any dev-ups. Surprisingly, Quinn doesn't go up in dev, but, I guess there's not much you can do about it. Eddie Jackson, I believe, goes to Superstar, which is massive, for sure. Trufant doesn't really regress, but can you really say he's worth crippling the team? I don't think so. We got about 30 mil left. He would take about 5. That's actually not bad, though. But, I'm going to let him go. Charles Leno drops a little bit. He wants pretty much the same contract, just 1 year instead. He's like, it's fine. You just give me a 1 year instead. It won't hurt you. It's like, please stop. I want good free agents, thank you. So we'll first take a look at who is there before we decide to, hey, that could happen now. Before we decide to figure out what we're willing to spend on. Wyatt Teller, I'm not sure the Browns' contract situation or cap situation, but I got to imagine with the amount of talent they have on their team, it's very likely they're going to lose a couple of pretty damn good players. Cortland Sutton, I don't think wide receiver is that big of a need for us. Orlando Brown obviously will be a Chief for years to come, you would assume. I mean, that's a lot to give up for a guy that won't be on your roster if that's the way you're going to run it. Edge could be nice, but Ford is, I love him in Sim, but doesn't make sense for us. And Njoku doesn't really make sense for us. I'm not really liking the names here, I'll be honest. We need to get a backup corner, but Yeah, I mean, there's not much that's going to really add to the team, right? Maybe try to get a tackle. Could get Charles Leno back on a 1-year 8, perhaps. But yeah, nothing shining, nothing to really spend on flashy-wise. And I definitely want a new safety. Even the guy was good. It's a different thing between potential and just realism. It's just, he has no potential. It's just simply put. All right, so we get Voshon Joseph, who could actually be our number 2 guy. I released Danny Trevathan because he was literally the same overall as Voshon. We also released Massey. Saved about 3.5 from him, maybe 5 from Danny Trevathan. Back up here, starting fullback. Not that it really matters too much around here. And go for some more scouting. We also get another linebacker, Barlow. Don't really see much of a future for him here, though. Robinson, backup most likely. Justin Jackson, backup for if we potentially lose Cohen. And then Lamp declined the 1-year 4 we offered him. We get Oliver as a backup, Coughlin as a backup, McCullers another linebacker, and then we do not get Mailata. Offered him a 1-year 6, and he didn't take. No, a 2-year 11, actually. So we're entering the draft with lots of needs. There's no chance we get to the first round, so I will not even bother. Let's see what we got here. So as far as our players go, we have this guy who could potentially play like the interior of the line, but then we also have this guy who looks absolutely nuts. I don't know if he actually fits as an outside guy, but I would be willing to trade up for him. DT looks okay, but nothing insane. Oglesby also looks really good, and he's by far the only safety available. Man, this is kind of tough. I'm going to put the safety up. Do I draft for need or do I draft for greed? Honestly, at this point, I think both are really good. I would say the pass rusher is definitely better, but at this point, we don't really have a whole lot to work with. I'm going to move down until one of them goes. And hopefully that is until at least about 10. Okay, so Oglesby goes right there. The Panthers aren't like super in need of a pass rusher, but I don't know exactly their... Well, I mean, they could use one. I don't know if that's going to be their number 1 need, but they could use one. We're going to trade up. I know trading up with this team is probably not a great idea as they're still trying to recover from the draft trade. But, I mean, I think this guy's too good to pass. I think this is pretty fair value. I think it is. We lose a 3rd next year. We lose our 22nd pick this year. We're going to take that pass rusher who's most likely to be replacing Robert Quinn soon. And here he is, Mr. Glenn Beverly. Looks like I can't miss. Even if he is normal or he isn't that great, at least he's fast. And he is normal, but he is pretty great. 86 speed and 91 excel, 78 finesse. That's a win. That's an absolute win. I am not mad by that pick at all. I do want to see how good Oglesby is. Obviously, one of the two is going to be our choice. I was hoping they would have lasted a little bit longer than they did, but, here we are. They talked about a running back, Mr. Lamar Ricard. They said that he was the better of the 2 running backs, him and Wallace. I'm not really even sold on any of them. This wide receiver looks decent. Melvin Chapman they mentioned. I think Melvin Chapman is the guy I want. I'm going to move to pick 10. And if he's there at pick 10, I'm going to take him. I mean, even 10 is going to cost us a little bit. So I just think he's good value as well. They mentioned him. They did say he had a bad combine, though. So maybe it's not a good decision. But we're trading up regardless. If you at least make your picks count, trading up will pretty much never be a bad decision, right? And this is pretty much similar to the other trade, just, 4th instead of 3rd. And this is the 3rd round instead of the 2nd. So I feel like that's fair. We're losing pretty much everything for next year again. But I will say we're looking pretty good, especially if this guy is decent. He looks very talented, so I'm not going to be mad with the pick at all. I'm not. I thought he was going to be about a 75 overall normal, but hidden development trade, that's a win. I don't know where we're going to play him at. Maybe guard. I don't think he has really the height, the size for tackle. But, man, that's a win. That is a win. And hope somebody has the size for tackle because we are lacking hard there, actually. Early 5th, we can't trade up. We just can't. Ryan White would actually be a pretty decent value pick. I think we're just going to go to the 6th round, though. There's just nothing we could do. We could use a linebacker. This guy's not bad. I'm going to take Lippett. Screw it. 64 overall normal. Yeah, he's not very good, I'll be honest. We have 29 and 32, and I think we're going to take both of our kicker-punter guys here. So Billy Smith is the first one on the board. He looked like by far the best punter. All those traits, or all the potentials, by far the best-looking player. Not even close to, feasible for Madden. And then Jimmy Kitchen, Kinchin, very interesting name there. 3rd round projection, or talent grade. Doesn't seem that way, buddy. And did we? Oh, yeah, we did land one hit in the offensive lineman, Melvin Chapman. I am curious to see that safety. We could have the choice to either of them, but ultimately we got what we got. Star development trait. I think, like I said, I think he can play right guard. I think that's what we're kind of missing here. And I do want to take a look at some of the players we missed. This was actually a pretty damn good-looking draft. We just didn't... this was the Heisman winner, by the way. This guy's going to be insane, probably. But we just didn't have the draft capital to make any plays. Andrew's superstar development trait. And then the free safety, please don't be hidden. And he is... Would have been a plug-and-play starter at strong, which makes me real sad. He's like a young Clinton Dix out here. And his development trait is only star, but... Man, the lacking of talent we have at free safety. I'm going to look for some guy in free agency and just hope, something's there. Because I really don't like our free safety. Not a lack of talent in free agency. That's not what I meant. Hell, Ricardo Allen's probably a better starter out the gate. I'll pick him up. I don't think he really makes a whole lot of sense at strong safety for us, but I suppose we'll just make it work. All right, year 2. We have our roster set. Definitely some things to improve on, but we have 3 young linemen. We signed Riley Reed from free agency to play left tackle. We have our wide receivers kind of set. It kind of depends on how Mooney plays this season. Defensively, Roquan set. Right outside linebacker should be set. I don't know how long Mac's going to stay. He's 31 already. Right outside linebackers, or outside linebackers in general, they drop in overall a lot quicker than, left end, right end for edge. Eddie Jackson with that superstar dev should be good for a while. We need a new strong safety. Could use a new corner. It'd be nice to find like an 87, 88 overall corner we could just find in free agency, but we'll see. And then we could use a D lineman or two on the interior. But we're in an okay spot. I'm not going to say we're in a great spot, but we have some pieces. I'm feeling okay about some of the team. All right, so David Montgomery's numbers are a little down here in Chicago, but I think he probably is the guy. And even if he isn't, 28 mil on 5 years, not a bad backup contract regardless. Eddie Goldman, I will be giving the 1-year deal to. He's been decent enough. We don't have a lot going on here interiorly. Marquis Christian hasn't played poorly for us. Yeah, I mean, that's okay backup money. He's earned it. He probably didn't even deserve to lose his starting job, but he just didn't have that much potential. If I'm going to go for age at the starting position, I want a guy that's proven. Ricardo Allen, speaking of, will be let go. Not bad, though. We're going to have a lot of money to work with for free agency, and we're going to need it, because I'm going to be honest, we're not off to the greatest start here. All right, here we are, headed to the wild card round, and let me tell you, coincidental time to choke the season away, because we actually have our own pick this time. But of course, we start off really poorly. We went in Chicago form of turning that around, but then we couldn't finish out quite strongly enough, and turns out the rest of the league took advantage of that and took our potential spot we were lining up. Justin Fields, yeah, we're definitely going to be changing our scheme here. It's just not working out. Mooney could go to superstar, would be kind of clutch. Cole Kmet, superstar tight end, is very hard to get up to, as we've seen before. Riley Reef, man, that offensive line did play pretty poorly. Thankfully, they got someone fast now so they can run around. Beverly got a decent bit of snaps, actually. Where the hell is Robert Quinn? Yikes. How many snaps did Quinn play? Beverly played 9-17. Quinn, he played less, but he still played a lot. I don't know. He still kind of underperformed, especially for a veteran that's being paid so much. Cairo Santos was actually pretty good. Any awards? I don't think we would have had any, right? Beverly, I guess, was good enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, apparently. Jets win the Super Bowl over the Falcons. Zach Wilson, actually, who the hell did they take? They took Pitts instead. Apparently turned him around. Mooney gets the superstar. I didn't really think those numbers were good enough, but apparently we're wrong, as he is superstar. Defensively, Johnson goes up to superstar, I believe. How are these overalls so low? Our XP is on 145, 150. I don't know. Voshan goes up to star, so we might not actually need a middle linebacker. Beverly doesn't dev up, but even though he was Rookie of the Year, I don't feel like he was that great. Can we get rid of Quinn? That's the real question here. And we can. That's enough of a savings for me to let him go. Resignings, I think we've been over this. We don't want any of these players, and yeah, we do not. With Johnson going up to superstar, it makes it, kind of tough, but we do only have 44 mil, so even if there is a god-tier corner here, I think we got to pass. Trent Williams, not a bad name here, but it's impossible to get him because, of course, in real life, he was signed to a massive deal. Rodney Hudson, Joel Bitonio, CJ Gardner-Johnson. I might try to offer him a 5-year 40, and see where we're at there. Because I don't want to pay too much for a safety, especially when we already have one. I'll give him a 4-year, 43. That seems pretty fair. And then, of course, Devin Bush is here. But Voshan's on a pretty damn cheap deal, so I'm willing to just ride it out with Voshan, and hopefully he devs. Quan Alexander, don't really need that. Cole Holcomb. I mean, there's not a whole lot of great names here, I'll be honest, so I suppose maybe we'll try to find some backup, but yeah, I mean, backup, maybe some old tackle, like I think it's Havenstein was there, maybe we sign him. Other than that, oh, Jonah Williams. I gotta pay him. I gotta pay him. A 4-year deal worth 47 is probably... You know what? I'm going to offer him less than a 4-year. Do I? How much XP per upgrade? 88. Nah, we'll keep it. We need a tackle. That's the guy. All right, we get Gardner Johnson on that 5-year 43. Seems like a good deal to us. We get a backup pass rusher. We get a backup guard, and then we get a starting left tackle. Not a bad little free agency period, and we didn't spend every dime. We get another backup guard. We get a backup left end who's kind of like a hybrid type. We don't get Harbor, who I don't even remember what he is. Probably a pass rusher. All right, so we have pick number 11, and there's not really anything that, like, shines or stands out comparatively to anything in the draft. Wait, did I actually just... No, I didn't ready it up. To anything in the draft, except for this Heisman-winning linebacker. I mean, we got this guy. We have potentially this guy, but I do not trust linemen anymore. I'm just not going to do it. Unless they said that this left tackle won the Heisman, I just don't trust it. This is the guy. I know we don't necessarily need a coverage linebacker, which is what it seems, or a run-stopping type, but Heisman winner, they've always been at least star development traits. Early first talent, looks really good. It does say late first. I don't know how long we could wait. But at 11, I mean, the best case we can get to back to 17. But we've seen late first go all the way up to 14 or 15. I think I'm just going to risk it on him just because he's a Heisman winner. And I'm glad I did. Now, him being a high overall, I would imagine. Yeah, his coverage ratings do kind of suck. Is he a pass rusher? I have no idea what he is. Is he a pass rusher? But with his overall kind of being on the higher side, I don't know if we'll expect an X factor. We do also have a DT who they were mentioned. It said something about like he didn't need to go to the combine or something, but he did really well there. I don't know what it was, but DT is one of our bigger needs. He's pretty good. I mean, if not him, it's going to be a trade down. It's one of our needs, so I'm going to take him. Kerry Whitmore, and another hidden development trait player. 71 overall, semi-athletic, definitely a raw player, but a really good draft pick yet again. I'm happy with it. I'm fine with that, obviously. This is a guy that the AI had scouted. Usually the AI kind of throws in those gems for you sometimes, so I think we're going to go to the 4th round, and we're going to see if he's there still. If he's there at the start of the 4th, I think it's trade up city again. Plus, we can maybe trade Cohen off. If he's there, I think I'm going to trade Cohen. Damn, he's gone. I really wanted him. I got to see where he went and see if he was any good. Late 4th. Don't really need linemen too bad, but we could use one final one. This guy could play corner. Man, there's some talent here. There is some definite talent here that I do not want to lose. John Dickerson. I'd probably rather have Ingram here. Late 4th. Man. Let's go to the Bills. I have no idea if that's fair or not. Probably isn't, but here we are. It's the 4th round. Don't be mad at me. Question is Dean Ingram, the hybrid. Perfect fit at number 3. Or John Dickerson, who could be a starter for the future. Wait, what are the choices? Late 4th and mid 4th. Late 4th talent grade. I'm going to go for the guard. 70 overall. Okay. I mean, it's not bad. He is there. We're going to take him. Javier Carrington could be our number 3. We'll see. 70 overall, normal, possession catch, super fast. Pretty good value. Not even pretty good, very good value. We're to 7th this and a 6th next to get up to this spot with the Colts. And we will be taking Mr. Demarius Dickerson. Looks decent enough. Will he be the Cohen replacement? I was going to say probably not. And I would say this is more than a definitely not, but 6th-round pick, and it didn't really cost us too much. And then a fullback again, Nate Corner. I mean, I suppose not again. Late first talent grade, huh? 72 overall. Looks really solid, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Not a bad draft. Got some hiddens. Never know what dev they are. Could be like Superstar and X-Factor, X-Factor and Superstar. Both X-Factor, both Superstar, or both, unfortunately, Star. But let's take a look. Jaquelin Orr, I think, will either start a middle linebacker or outside just because he is hidden. Let's take a look at the dev. And he will definitely start if there was any doubt, which there really wasn't. 56 is good for coverage, but I honestly don't think he's a coverage linebacker. I really don't. I feel like he's a pass rusher, and I think there's good reason for it because he literally looks like a pass rusher. As far as this position goes, I think we need a right end, so we'll put him at right end, and he is star, so yeah, nothing special there. Well, I mean, he's still really good. It's a win. Almost every DT we ever take is a freaking normal. What was the... Oh, yeah, there was a pick. Who was it? Well, here's a safety. I cannot remember the other position we wanted to look at. All right, year 3, the roster, I mean, it's getting better every season, right? Like, the whole offensive line is star or better. The only guy that's really even old is Cody Whitehair, which we can replace. It's a center. We have 2 superstar dev receivers. We have Fields, who's an 85. Montgomery's not bad. He's on a contract for a while. Cole Kmet's, I mean, he hasn't really developed super well, but he's definitely a viable piece as far as the defensive side of things. Definitely some good things happening around here. Bilal Nichols, I don't know how much we signed him to. It was only like a 3-year deal. You might have to re-sign him already or very soon. Johnson, superstar, definitely high potential. Gardner Johnson and the safeties are definitely a top 3 tandem. Inside linebackers looking pretty good. I just don't know what we do. Maybe we trade off Mac next season and put Beverly at outside over there. Mac's not, that young anymore. He's not even that good anymore, really. You can even make the argument to trade him now, but I think we'll keep him for one more season, try to make something magical happen. Who knows? All right, re-sign time. Darnell Mooney. I'm looking to give this man a 6-year deal. It's a super steal for us, but more importantly, keeps him on contract for some time. Cole Kmet, I would say, probably a 6-year deal as well. He's a little bit younger anyways, 6-year, 45. Eddie Goldman could get another 1 year. Jalen Johnson's the guy you have to lock up for as long as possible. 7 years, 75 works out for me. Cairo Santos, he's playing pretty well, but that regression could get ugly. We'll re-sign him for another year, actually. Let's just get him out of the way, even though the tag's probably about the same price as that, actually, maybe even less. It probably would be about $5 million. Tariq Cohen. Has he been... I mean, he's not that expensive. He is 28, though. Not really having a great season. What about receiving? I mean, I don't really like the numbers. I'm going to let him go. I just don't, I think we might be able to get better value. That's actually a good point. It's very hard to, value what Eddie Goldman even brings to the team because they only show sacks. So, his tackles for a loss aren't that great. His sack numbers aren't great. I think we're going to let him go, too. Bit of a rough start, but let me tell you, a bit of a turnaround. 13-3 gets the freaking bye week. Definitely did not expect that out of the Chicago Bears. He changed the scheme up a little bit. Defense we changed, he kept the same, though, because I felt like they were actually playing all right. Let's take a look at the stats. So Fields, touchdowns are still pretty down. The yards are better. Rushing, really not much better. Allen Robinson could go to X-Factor, should go to X-Factor. Blocking, we did improve the line, and they do look improved, which is good. Mac, you just can't get rid of him if he's playing that well. I'm not saying Orr was bad, and Beverly, who is a backup at this point again, was bad, but 19.5 sacks. How do you say, you know what, he's aging, he's not really... No, he's doing well, which really sucks. I honestly would have rather taken even 11-5 just to have some sort of reason to get rid of him because he is taking up a lot of money, and I know that his overall is going to drop hard, but what can I do? I mean, he's got to stay. Defensive Player of the Year, Linebacker of the Year, all the good stuff. And hell, maybe even a Super Bowl champion. Going up against Dallas in the divisional, 87 overall to their 85, which is pretty good. The Cowboys are always a fan favorite for EA at least. As we are now in the snow, Dallas shouldn't be able to handle this too well. But obviously, will it matter at all? That's the question. They should be able to run the ball better, which, I don't know if there's actually any math on it or science to it that people run better in the snow, but I think with the bad conditions, teams pass less. So in theory, if you have a good rushing attack, you should win these games. which were, you know, our run game's all right. I wouldn't say it's as good as Dallas, but it's definitely got its perks. And man, talk about a defense. You can't let Mac go. You just can't. You just can't. You simply cannot let him go. It just can't happen. Of course, Fields really didn't play that well. Montgomery was pretty damn solid. I got to give it to him. Pitts, who's a Cowboy, interesting to say the least. Sacks, Mac is just a monster. He's going off, and they missed 3 field goals. I mean, defense was still really good, don't get me wrong, but 3 field goals. Holy crap, Jake Elliott. Definitely just an eagle for life and just did that on purpose. I also must say that the game is making Orr out to be a coverage guy, which is really interesting. What is he? The thing is, he doesn't have any pass rush traits, but like his coverage sucks. I guess maybe we just move Orr to middle linebacker? I really don't know, dude. This is just so confusing. You got unfakeable and reinforce. I don't know. He's just such a weird player. I can't even blame the game for upgrading his coverage ability or his run stopping because he doesn't have pass rush traits. Of course, we did play him at pass rusher, but I don't know, man. Giants, speaking of, the team that we got to feel a little chummy to because they did give this old Bears team their franchise quarterback. Gotta love them for that. Not me in real life. Just say, I mean, in, you know, immersion. 14-10. We're looking good, but we're just failing on the consistency part. Clutch, but of course, Saquon gets a touchdown right to start the second half. Up 7. Now tied up. Let's slow it down as they're about to take the lead, which is really unfortunate. Offense, come on, drive down. Converted on 4th down. 5 minutes left. Defense is driving them back. They almost get the first down. Oh, my Lord. Could you not? And they're just going to waste the clock. They should have all the opportunities in the world to convert this. Like, they should be able to easily get close. I don't understand what's going on here. Is that Robinson? It is Robinson, who's got a lot of room. Down to the 6. You gotta think that this team is going to not take their field goal, right? Because that's just the way the game rolls. Watch, he's not even going to take the field goal. If he misses, fair enough. But at least take the field goal. And they do. They do. Chicago wins it. Gotta love that they had about 2 minutes left. Didn't waste a single timeout. We're going to just, you know, go to overtime at midfield. Field sold. That is really bad. David Montgomery, not bad again. Didn't have a big rushing touchdown as he really not built for it as Robinson crushed it. I mean, we only got him like 20-some yards there, and he had like 200. So, damn. Okay. Are we going to win the Super Bowl already? I think what we'll do is if we win the Super Bowl here, we'll do one more season, see if we can repeat. But other than that, I think that's really all you can ask for if you're a Bears fan. Even making it here is amazing. But getting to the Super Bowl within 3 years that's pretty special. Potential dev-ups, I'm trying to think who would have gotten one. Allen Robinson, of course, definitely deserved one. He got it, which is super clutch since we have him on contract till 32 years of age. Orr was already an X Factor. Mac was already an X Factor, obviously. And no one else got a dev-up. It was just wide receiver Allen Robinson. Going up against the Tennessee Titans, 85 overall is pretty much like the league average, it would appear, or the playoff team average, as we face yet another team with 85 overall. And here it is, the Super Bowl, 7-0, 7-all. Come on, team. I mean, it looked like we're driving. We're just not finishing. As you can see, another drive where it kind of like stalls out in the middle. Derrick Henry and company kind of making my dreams a little sad here. Come on, boys. Put up some points. Okay, it's going to be their ball, I believe. Oh, no, we're driving still. Up by 3. Tennessee taking advantage. And they're going to only get a field goal. 7 minutes left. You can take the 7-point lead if you don't sell. And what do? They sell. How does Justin Fields with that speed get sacked on the biggest play of the game? I will never know. And there's just no chance the game gets him there. I don't know if I really want to play a part in this, but I suppose that that time may have passed here. As we're going to try to drag it out so Komet gets open. That's not a bad throw. Allen Robinson apparently gets the foot down. I don't know if I believe he did. Yeah, I think that left foot was miles out. And it was. Carrington, a little bit of speed on the outside. They are looking very stout on defense. Carrington. And he stays in bounds down to the 43. Gotta love Fields on the run. Another booth review. I swear if they don't give this to us. Okay. But to say, how many booth reviews do you need here? Carrington could stretch the field again here. Bring Mooney down. I don't know what his abilities are, but do we just take the shot to him? And don't catch that. Gains 2 yards, I guess. I mean, it is Allen Robinson. He's clutch as hell. I don't necessarily want to drive this team in for the Super Bowl win, but I don't know if I trust them to take the field goal if we, give them the reins here. As Allen Robinson, again, a little off target, but Allen Robinson obviously adjusts because he's an absolute monster. And that is just so far off, it's not even close. It's just not even close. Now you get a little bit more cautious, especially with that throw. You're like, is it even worth taking an attempt here? And I think you streak Robinson and block Cohen. You probably take a shot to Robinson here if it's there. Actually, we'll give it to Cole Kmet. And Robinson could have caught that. That would have been so insane. Cole Kmet sold there. He should have had that. Let's see. Speaking of selling, field goal kick, please. And it was blocked. There's no way. There is no way it was blocked. No way. They blocked it. No overtime in the Super Bowl. That would be like the clutchest defensive or special teams play ever. Okay, sweet. Jalen Phillips on their team. 3.5 sacks, if you say so. Good job, Santos. Of course, they missed as well, but theirs wasn't a block. Nice. Well, that's pretty sweet. Let's see what happens with Khalil Mack. Looks like that overall dropped quite a bit. And, of course, the main thing that we would lose overall in would be Khalil Mack. He's still a 91 overall, though, so he's still kind of balling out. Yeah, he's pretty solid still. As far as everyone else goes, I wouldn't have expected anyone else to drop, so we're still looking okay. All right, so free agency. This is, why we let our mans go. We let Goldman go, so we could sign someone like Fletcher Cox, perhaps, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. About 21 mil. Take it, please. That's all I could really ask for. Because other than that, we're kind of just selling this money down the river here. Corey Davis, don't really have a spot for him. David Andrews be interesting, but no spot for him either. I would love to sign Gilmore as well. They're 1-year deals, though. Let's actually see who we have to re-sign. If we don't have to sign anyone really next season, which I don't really think of anyone to my knowledge, we might actually sign Gilmore as well. Yeah, you know what? We're going to sign Gilmore. We're going to sign him. Or we're going to try to, obviously, where both these guys are probably going to just decline our offers, but why not, right? Why not? Oh, they're not going to accept that. We're going to get cucked. I think the Jaguars have the number 2 bid on both. Please don't. They're probably thinking the same thing. Please don't cuck us. They're going to cuck us, aren't they? It's really not much more we could do in free agency. There's really nothing here that could upgrade us. We get Fletcher Cox, who is definitely the bigger of the two names that we needed. We do not get Gilmore, which would have been so damn clutch. But hey, it's fun. So we're in the draft, and we're in a kind of a weird spot because the team is pretty damn good, and really the only thing that I feel can upgrade this team is players from free agency. I don't think any of these guys are high enough overall. Maybe Tony Winston might be our guy, actually. We know that linemen are just not good selections, so it becomes really a question of, are you willing to let yourself down? And I don't know if I am. I don't know if a first-round running back's the move, though. Montgomery's been good enough. Do you take another pass rusher? You don't really need him. DT is kind of a need, but he's a late second anyways. Lorenzo Bryant, they mentioned, saying that it was unfair that he was injury prone. They were like, don't rush it too fast back, boy. And I'm like, okay, don't, please stop yelling. I don't know, dude. I just don't think running back's really that big of a need, even though he looks insane. You do also have a third-round running back with a 7.9 combine grade. I think we're going to trade this down. We don't move too far back. We move to 6. We get a 4th next year, and I think a 5th this or a 5th next, one of the two. DT is kind of a big need. If we can move back even just a slight bit again, that'd be kind of clutch. 39. Is that right behind us? I'm willing to take it. Just try to up our value a little bit because I feel like we probably were deserved a little bit more, and the offers were just kind of trash. I think that's about as far as I'm willing to go back is to 10 with the Eagles, and if the DT's there, I suppose we'll take them. Cornerback is probably our biggest need, but once again, there really just isn't anyone there to fill that need. LaRon Brackens, pretty damn athletic. We're going to risk it. And, okay, 74 overall hidden. Not bad. That's a steal. Okay, I did not think we were going to land like such a good player there. I kind of just took him because we kind of ran out of things to like need. Bryant is 23. He skipped the combine. If he's there, I'll take him, but I don't think he's got enough value for me. Oh, could we sell? We sold, didn't we? Didn't we? We sold! No! I mean, we don't even really need the running back that bad, but I still wanted him. That kind of sucks, though. It does kind of suck, I can't lie. But yeah, Lorenzo Bryant is our guy. Screw it. And another hidden development player. He'll be our number 3 for a fact. Steal. Absolute steal. And we kind of crushed this draft. Don't give it to us, obviously, because we did it. Hitchens, middle linebacker, is somewhat on the needs list. Let's go to 15 or 16. We moved up with the Texans to 12. Let's see if the guy's there or not. And he is, Mr. Hitchens. We'll take him. He looks like a really good player. And another hidden. Okay. Once again, linebacker. I don't know why I'm getting so excited. Linebacker's not that big of a deal for hiddens. Unless, of course, their superstar are better. We kind of crushing it, though. I'll give it, once again, I'll give it to us. Late 4th pick. Do we take the center? Do we, you guys are going to think we're cheating or something. If this guy's hidden, we're going to take him. Sears. He is a good player, 68 overall, but obviously no hidden. If I could change any player to be hidden, that would be the one. The center, linemen aren't super easy to get. Hidden players for, we do need to replace our center soon. I don't know if that's the guy, but, why not? Why not for now? Just call him the guy. Why not? Late 5th, this guy, what is he, an early 6th? He's not going to be good, but I'm going to take him just for depth. Yeah, he's not that bad. Agility does suck. Catch sucks. Yeah, he's kind of trash, actually. And then with this pick, I think we're going to take kicker because our kicker is on his final season. And this kicker had an A- accuracy, which is insane, assuming he is still there. And he is. Miles McLeod. Let's see what we can get out of him. 70 overall. And I just love the draft. Hopefully Brackens. Well, I mean, I hope he is superstar better. But at the same time, I hope he's not because Nichols is like the starter. But, oh, that's tough to beat. I suppose Bracken starts at right end for Whitmore, and then Whitmore takes over Nichols' spot after. I know it's kind of cheating that we checked his dev. We probably shouldn't have done that, but I completely forgot about it, okay? And then Bryant, we get a star dev player. That's just fine. And oh, yeah, the middle linebacker was also hidden. I don't think there's a... Actually, we might start him at number 2. Yeah, I am going to start him at number 2 as long as Voshan isn't super high of an overall. Which I don't imagine he's like higher than a 70 AA5 maybe. All right, here's the roster for year 4. Wide receivers look pretty damn good. Cole Kmet's getting, coming around a bit. David Montgomery is still the starter, and he's a pretty decent looking player. He's very interesting though. Like juke move is high, and the other ones are kind of like iffy. O-line's pretty solid. Look at the defensive side of things. We've got a really good set of linebackers. Beverly's being cucked here a bit, but Mac has to stay around until he sucks. Fletcher Cox, huge addition. If we could make the Super Bowl last season from this squad without Fletcher Cox, with him, you would think maybe it's enough to push us over the edge. Re-signings, Justin Fields is the one we're going to be doing first. Obviously, a 7-year, $247 seems about right to me. Eddie Jackson, I don't know about that. Mac, I don't know about that. Could be a retirement. Let's go for Mayfield, give him a 7-year deal. He's a pretty damn good tackle. 7 years, 70 pretty much. Tyson Campbell, I mean, he hasn't really proven himself to be that great. I'll give him the 5-year, though. I was going to give him a 6, but now I'll give him a 5-year. Cody Whitehair will look to replace. I think we've already replaced the kicker, technically. Fletcher Cox, a 1-year deal. I don't even know if he'll be here still, but definitely cheaper than if we had to re-sign him in free agency or try to get him back in free agency. Eddie Jackson. Interesting to say the least. I don't know if you can pay that money to a guy who's superstar. If he was an X Factor, I would. Superstar, though, I do not know. I guess we'll give him the deal. Oh, I guess he doesn't want it. You know what? A tag makes a lot more sense, right? I will admit, the team kind of clutched up. They actually got a bye week after a, I believe, 3-4 start on the season. Got 2-2, 2-3. 3-3, 3-4, and then we just won every single game outside of that, which is impressive. We didn't change any schemes or anything like that. We just let it ride. And it worked out. Of course, the season really wasn't that much better outside of maybe Mooney here. But we were able to at least get back here. Get back here with a bye as well. Hitchens, 112, could go to Superstar. Mac, I can't give him a 3-year. Maybe he gets tagged after all. I mean, it's just the name at this point. Not that he's not good. It's just, I don't know. Does he deserve to still be doing that well? Justin Fields, number 3. Any awards? Defensive Rookie of the Year. Almost had wide receiver. Khalil Mack, best D-line linebacker yet again. Here we are going back to the divisional. Let's see if we can make it happen. What is our overall? 90 overall. Going against the Seattle Seahawks, who are an 86. End of the game, 7-0, 7-3. Start of the second quarter, 10-7. 14-10. Nice little drive to get an extra 3 before half. Only 3 to start the second half, but defense is doing all right for itself. Touchdown puts him in a really good spot. 27-17, and that will be the dagger for this one. 34-24 over the Seattle Seahawks to head back to the championship round and maybe back to the Super Bowl. Pretty good numbers overall. Robinson always has his hand in the wins. Fletcher Cox looking pretty damn good. Jayon Brown with a pick. The championship round against the Cardinals. They're pretty good overall, 88 overall. We're higher, but they're pretty good too. It's in the snow. They should not be ready for this in the slightest, as Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence are in the Super Bowl. If we don't win this, that is so unfortunate, because that would be one hell of a story for the Super Bowl. 7-all. 14-7, not bad. How did they get a touchdown? Like right there. I don't even know. But looking pretty good. 28-14. One more touchdown would put the dagger in it. That could be enough anyways. And it is. As Chicago is headed back to the Super Bowl for back-to-back years. Well, I guess back to the Super Bowl for back-to-back years would mean more than 2 in a row. But Fields, perfect game this time. Definitely didn't need to do as much. They kind of just look like they threw the game away. Honestly, like it just seems like they lost the game rather than we winning it. We winning it? Okay. Or with 3 sacks, 2 for Mack. What a freaking game for the defense. And look at Eddie Jackson with the 2 picks. Santos, no misses this time, but I don't think he had any misses either until the Super Bowl, which is kind of ironic. Here it is against Jacksonville. Let's see if we got any dev-ups. Maybe Mooney to X-Factor. No Mooney to X-Factor defensively. I don't think there was a single dev up on defense either. So no dev ups at all, but obviously still a really impressive season. Could have easily made the argument for Mooney to go to X Factor. 91 overall to their 86 overall. Let's see it. We know this stadium well. We've won more Super Bowls here than the Falcons themselves. Well, I mean, I guess that's not really hard to do. I don't know what kind of assault that was on their character, but okay. 7-0, good start for Jacksonville, which is not good for us. Good defense. Offense doing nothing, though. Finally tying it up. 14-7 before half. Nothing. Offense. It's just one of those games where it just doesn't look good for us. 14-all. They drive for 3. Come on. Okay, let's slow down. Actually, we're up by 4 now with the touchdown. Defense with the pick 6. Another pick. Is Chicago going to win it? The defense. Who says defenses still don't win championships? Because that's what happened here today. Unbelievable. Absolutely insane. I can't believe how excited Trevor Lawrence was there to be sad and shaking his head. It was really strange. He did a hop step. It was really interesting. But Chicago wins the bowl with Justin Fields. Gets his fat contract. He gets the fat ring on his finger as well. And they win it. Could have had back-to-back, but they didn't. Impressive stuff. We win the Super Bowl here a lot, so it's no surprise to us that year 4 is the magical number. And I wonder who the MVP of the game was. It was Eddie Jackson making plays. He had the pick 6. Eddie Jackson, back-to-back really good games. And yet here we are thinking about tagging him rather than re-signing him. Yep. I suppose he will probably ask for a 3-year, which could cause less, but you have to probably offer more anyways to protect that chance that he regresses, or not regresses, he declines. But I suppose even though Mac's really good, I think you kind of have to let him go, if not already retired at this point, because he's about to be 34. His overall is going to be dropping a bit. Probably be an 85, 86. Regardless, though, that doesn't matter, because the rebuild is over, obviously, if you couldn't tell. Justin Fields, did not deserve to win technically, but I suppose he didn't throw 4 picks, which is really bad. Well, I guess to be fair, Montgomery had 4 touchdowns. That's pretty crazy for a Super Bowl. It doesn't seem like he had crazy runs, but still. They got Barmore and Owusu. Oh, my Lord. I guess to be fair, they probably went Barmore in the first round, so that's kind of irrelevant. Fletcher Cox crushed it. And really, that was it. Pass rush wasn't apparently that great for sack totals. Kai Bushrod again, though. Got to give it to that guy. Kind of showing up when we need him most. I like it. Like the effort. And let's actually see the regression point, because obviously we would have re-signings here. Mac appears to still be here. Eddie Jackson down to a 90 overall. I think that money is about... Actually, I think the money's more for him. Mac is still good. It doesn't matter to us, because we're done, but... Man, what a disaster. How does he look like he's going to regress super hard, and then he just kind of still keeps going? I don't know. But obviously, if you want to see that we didn't force any wins or restart or anything like that, I'll show you that real quick. As you can see, everything's pretty legit, pretty clean. Anyways, though, that is going to be the realistic rebuild for the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields as their #1 quarterback. If there's a team you would like to see from this draft being rebuilt, let me know in the comment section below. Obviously, it might pay off to wait a little bit for some teams. We might see the Steelers draft a quarterback that could be fun for a rebuild. The Raiders, maybe, perhaps, doubt it, but maybe. There's probably some teams that will, push themselves up the front of the list for rebuilds. Maybe that's what we do. I'm not sure. I don't want to do too many right away. I'll get burnt out, especially at the long rebuild that I recorded for tomorrow, most likely, and it's all done, thankfully. What a disaster. That was such a long one. Anyways, though, if you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays, twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for a stream tonight around probably 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll do some Bulldogs, we'll do some other things. It should be a fun time. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!